and international organizations, distinguished members of the media, Basotho ba heso ka hare le ka ntle ho naha, ke a le dumedisa. Honorable President, Honorable Speaker, I'm pleased to present the budget estimates.
Next time you mention those titles, you will say, Right, Honorable Speaker.
Right, Honorable President. What about President? President is the right honorable. May I beg your guidance, Right Honorable Speaker?
Oh, ene le taba fela ya hore title ya motsamaisi wa dipuisano ka sekgowa ke Right Honorable Speaker. Ka Sesotho motlombehi motsamaisi wa dipuisano, mme ke bona eka che wala puo ya Senyesemane e leng hore o ka balehela Sesotho ga o fihla mone he wa nna wa re bahlomphehi mookamedi wa ntlo ya senate le motsamaisi wa dipuisano, empa ha o ya Senyesemane a tla ba Honorable President and Right Honorable Speaker.
Ke a leboha mohlomphehi motsamaisi wa dipuisano ka ntlong ya setjhaba. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable President, I am pleased to present the budget estimates for the 2026-27 fiscal year, guided by the theme, Accelerating Economic Transformation, Building Resilience. In recent years, our efforts have been directed towards restoring macro-fiscal stability, strengthening governance, and laying foundations for inclusive, broad-based, and sustainable job-creating growth. These efforts, Bashompei Baka, were not only deliberate and necessary, but informed by deep reflections of the underpinnings of our journey for development since time immemorial, as well as our beliefs and practices that have become norms and tradition, yet they collide with the basic principles of transformative and progressive economic policy. These efforts have, however, helped us to stabilize our fiscal position, expand social protection, invest in infrastructure, and build resilience in the face of external shocks. However, stabilization is hardly a sufficient condition for prosperity. Foundations alone do not create opportunity. A nation does not transform by simply preserving what exists. It transforms by building what does not yet exist. We now enter a new phase in our journey to transform our economy, a phase that needs clarity, resolve, and demands acceleration, structural reforms, and productive expansion. Bashompei, a face that puts the needs and ambitions of Basotho ahead of those of individuals. The time has come for us to move decisively from recovery to flight, from dependence to diversification, and from constraint to opportunity. This budget estimates, therefore, represent more than an annual financial plan. They are a strategic instrument to reshape the structure of our economy and to redefine ourselves. It is a commitment to unlock the productive capacity of our people, to empower enterprise, and position Lesotho as a competitive participant in the regional and global markets. Honorable President, Right Honorable Speaker, the argument for transformation has never been more compelling. The global economic landscape has become bullish and hostile. Our economy continues to face structural constraints that limit growth and job creation. Youth unemployment remains unacceptably high. system. While global growth remains, strategic reshoring of supply chains are redefining global commerce. These shifts have direct and severe implications for us as Lesotho. And now looking into the implications for Lesotho, these global and regional shifts have direct consequences. Remains barriers have weakened confidence in vulnerable economies. While government successfully secured a one-year extension of AGOA and a moderation of tariffs to around 15%, tariffs remain elevated by historical standards. And global trade tensions continue to weigh heavily on long-term investment planning. Heightened uncertainty in global trade and financial markets underscores the importance of preserving reserve buffers or fiscal buffers, safeguarding external stability, and remaining vigilant to spillovers through trade, SACU revenues, and regional financial conditions. The impact has been much more pronounced in the textile and apparel sector and in the mining sectors, which are historically our largest private sector employers. International buyers are de-risking supply chains, diverting orders away from smaller economies. Factory and mine closures, job losses, and declining household incomes have followed, posing risks to employment, foreign exchange earnings, skills retention, and social stability. At the same time, external concessional financing has contracted sharply. The cancellation of the Millennium Challenge Cooperation Compact II and other support reflects a structural withdrawal of grant financing rather than a temporary fluctuation, creating funding gaps in health, in water, in agriculture. Having looked into this, I move now to domestic economic developments. For our economy, economic growth in 2024-25 registered 4.2%.